Hi students, welcome to my YouTube channel Lokesh Gupta Chemistry Classes. Today our topic is JEE Mains 2020 January Spell Solutions from Periodic Table chapter. From the chapter in each paper one question given, but in one paper two questions given. So totally from the 6 papers together 7 questions given. Let me explain one by one. This question was given 8th afternoon. The question is, the increasing order of atomic radius of the following elements is carbon, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine. These are the elements. What they want? Increasing order of atomic radius. Now see, if you want to compare the trend in any periodic properties, first arrange the given elements in the groups and periods wise order. See, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine belongs to the same period, second period. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine belongs to the same group, 7th A group. So first, to compare the any periodic property, we have to arrange the given elements in the groups and periods wise. Now apply the trend. What we know? Atomic radius. In periods from left to right side, atomic radius decreases because of increasing effective nuclear charge. So from carbon to oxygen, oxygen to fluorine, atomic radius decreases. Next, down the group, we know that atomic radius increases. So fluorine less than chlorine, chlorine less than bromine. And now when compared with fluorine, carbon, oxygen larger in size, chlorine, bromine also larger in size. Now these two, when compared with chlorine, larger in size or smaller in size. See, in the periods from left to right side, decrease in size little bit, down the group increase in size more. So that's why these three elements are smaller than the chlorine only. So what will be the final order? Bromine, E greater than, next to chlorine, D greater than, after that who will come? Carbon, A greater than, next oxygen, B greater than, C, that is fluorine. So now correct answer is second option. In this way we have to answer. Now come to the next question. This question was given on 7th January morning. Now the question is, the atomic radius of silver is closest to, atomic radius of silver is closest to nickel, gold, copper, mercury. Among these four elements, atomic radius of this silver is closest to. See, we know that down the group in the D block also atomic radius increases. But here exception is, except in 3B group, in the remaining groups of the D block elements, from 3D series to 4D series element, atomic radius increases. But 4D and 5D series elements have nearly equal atomic radius, except 3B group elements. This is because of lanthanides contraction. See, after lanthanum, 58 to 71 atomic numbers, 14 elements are lanthanides. In those lanthanides comes in between the lanthanum and hafnium, 14 elements. For those 14 elements, atomic radius decreased. That decrease in atomic radius of lanthanides, it has influence on the atomic radius of 5D series elements except 3B group. Finally what happened? Here in between the lanthanum and hafnium, for 14 lanthanides atomic radius decrease because of that lanthanides contraction. In a group of the D block, 4D and 5D series elements have nearly equal atomic radius. So mercury and gold have nearly equal atomic radius. So atomic radius of silver is close to Gold. So answer is gold. Now come to the next question. This question was given on 9th January morning. Now the question is, boron has smaller ionization enthalpy than beryllium. Consider the following statements. Correct statements are, see, in the periods from left to right side, ionization enthalpy has to increase. From lithium to beryllium increased. From beryllium to boron it has to increase. But from beryllium to boron it is decreased. Ionization enthalpy of boron smaller than that of beryllium. Why? What is the reason? That one they are asking. See, it is easier to remove 2p electron than the 2s electron. Yes, correct. Here when compared with 2s electron, to remove 2p electron it is easier. Now this one correct. Next, what is the another reason? See, in case of beryllium, we have to remove the 2s electron. Most closely binded electron, last electron is 2s2 electron. That one we have to remove. In case of ionization of boron, we have to remove the most loosely binded electron, last electron. That is 2p electron we have to remove. 2p electron we have to remove. See, if you compare the 2s and 2p, penetration power of s electrons more than that of p electrons. 2s electrons are near to the 2p electrons. 2s electrons are near to the nucleus than the 2p electrons. Means penetration power of s electrons more than that of p electrons. Now these 2s electrons are very near to the nucleus. That's why nucleus attraction over the 2s electrons is more than that of 2p electrons. So now to remove the 2s electrons, more amount of energy is required than to remove the 2p electron. So this third statement also correct. 2s electrons are more penetration power than the 2p electrons. 2s electrons has more penetration power than the 2p electrons. So this statement also correct. Now come to the second statement. 2p electrons of boron is more shielded from the nucleus by inner core of electrons than the 2s electrons of beryllium. Now 2p electrons of boron more shielded. Now we can calculate the screening constant value. Now beryllium 1s2, 2s2. On the 2s2 electron, screening constant how much? On the 2s2 electron, on that electron, except that electron, remaining inertial electrons will screen. They will provide some screening. Now, in the valence shell, if you accept the last 2s2 electron, remaining one electron are there. One electron is there. That one electron provides screening 0.35. Plus, in the n-1 shell, each electron provides screening 0.85. 2 into 0.85. 0.85. So now 0.35 plus 1.7. 0.35 plus 1.7. So 2.05 is the screening constant. Next. Now for this boron, on this 2s1 electron, what is the screening effect? Now in the valence shell, except this last electron, still two more electrons are there. Due to each electron, screening effect, screening constant 0.35 into 2, 0.7 plus due to each electron in the n-1 shell, screening effect 0.85. So 0.85 into 2. So 1.70 plus 0.70, 3.4. 3.4. So 2p electron of boron is more shielded from the inner shell electrons than the 2s electron of beryllium. So more screening effect means what? Nucleus attraction over the outermost electrons less. Nucleus attraction. This here more inertial electrons. So that's why these inertial electrons more screen the valency electrons from the nucleus attraction. So finally, nucleus attraction over the 2p electrons of boron is less than the 2s electron. So this second statement also correct. Now fourth statement, atomic radius of boron is more than that of beryllium. No, it is wrong. Na? In periods from left to right side, atomic radius decreases. From beryllium to boron also atomic radius decreases. So now what are the correct statements? First, second and third. So correct answer is option 1. So it is the answer. Now come to the next question. The question was given on 8th January morning. Now the question is, the first ionization energy of sodium, magnesium, aluminium and silicon are respectively. For these 4 elements, ionization energy values they are asking. Now it means no need to by heart the values. Based on the trend, we have to answer this question. No need to by heart the ionization energy, electron affinity values of all the elements. Based on the trend, we can answer it. Now, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon. These are the third period elements. What we know, in periods from left to right side, ionization energy will increase. Sodium to magnesium, magnesium to aluminium, aluminium to silicon has to increase. But where the exception? From magnesium to aluminium, exception. Just now, in the previous question also, same point we highlighted. Now. From magnesium to aluminium, instead of increasing, ionization energy decrease. Why? Same reason. In case of magnesium, we have to remove 3s electron during the ionization. In case of aluminium, we have to remove 3p electron during the ionization. Penetration power of 3s electrons more than that of 3p electrons means 3s electrons are near to the nucleus than the 3p electrons. As a result, nucleus attraction over the 3s electrons is more than that of 3p electrons. So finally, ionization energy of magnesium more than that of aluminium. One more point you have to know. From magnesium to aluminium, effective nuclear charge increased. But in this case, penetration power only dominated. Penetration power only dominated. Due to the greater penetration power of 3s electrons, ionization energy of magnesium more than that of aluminium. Now, what about from aluminium to silicon increase? When compared with aluminium, magnesium more and silicon also more. In between the magnesium and silicon, which one is more? Here, you should not apply the penetration power concept here. So, here also 3s electron, silicon 3p electrons we have to remove. 3p electrons penetration power less. So, ionization energy of silicon will be less than that of magnesium. No, here it is not correct. In this case, not the penetration power. Effective nuclear charge factor was only dominated. From aluminium to silicon and magnesium to silicon also, increase in effective nuclear charge only more. For silicon, effective nuclear charge is more. That's why from aluminum to silicon, ionization energy increased and silicon ionization energy more than that of the ionization energy of magnesium. So now it is the trend. This is a trend satisfied by which option? See this one. If it is the sodium value, sodium to magnesium increased, magnesium to aluminum decreased, aluminum to silicon increased. And what I said, ionization energy of silicon more than that of magnesium also. Silicon more than that of magnesium. So this condition satisfied by first option. So the correct answer is first option. Come to the next question. Question was given on 9th January afternoon. Now the question is, the first and the second ionization enthalpies of a metal are 496 and 4560 kilojoules per mole respectively. See, from IP1 to IP2, 10 times increment is there. Next, how many moles of HCl and H2SO4 respectively will be needed to react completely with 1 mole of the metal hydroxide. How to answer it? Now see, for any element, successive IP values increases. But for this element, from first ionization energy to second ionization energy, lot of increment is there. From IP1 to IP2, if a sudden increase is there, after that slow increase, then that is 1A group element. Why? Because 1A group element, for example, sodium you take. In case of IP1, we have to remove the electron from the neutral atom. Now 3s and 1 electron we have to remove. In case of IP2, we have to remove the electron from unipositive ion. Now unipositive ions of 1A group elements have inert gas electronic configuration, stable inert gas electronic configuration for the unipositive ions of 1A group elements. Stable electronic configuration. Now to remove the electron from this unipositive ion, more amount of energy is required than we expected. So that's why from IP1 to IP2, sudden jump is observed for 1A group elements. If it is 2A group element, from IP1 to IP2, little bit increase only. But from IP2 to IP3, sudden jump will be there for 2A group elements. Why? Because dipositive ions of 2A group elements have inert gas electronic configuration. Energy required to remove the electron from dipositive ion is called IP3. Na? So that's why for 2A group elements from IP2 to IP3 sudden jump. Now from IP1 to IP2 only sudden jump is there, 1A group element. Now this 1A group metal hydroxide, 1 mole, can react with how many moles of HCl and H2SO4? You know na? For example, NaOH. It is monoacidic base. So it can react with 1 mole of monobasic acid. 1 mole of monobasic acid. So 1 mole of NaOH can react with 1 mole of HCl only. But in case of sulfuric acid, NaOH, monoacidic base, 2 moles of this one can react with 1 mole of sulfuric acid, 1 mole of sulfuric acid to form salt and water. So now 1 mole of this NaOH can react with 0.5 moles of sulfuric acid only. So 1 mole of NaOH can react with 1 mole HCl or 0.5 moles sulfuric acid. So the correct answer is third option. Now come to the next question. Question was given on 7th January afternoon. Now the question is, within each pair of elements, fluorine and chlorine, sulfur and selenium, lithium and sodium, the element that releases more energy upon an electron gain R. It means from each pair of elements, for which element electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity highest from each pair. Now we know that down the group atomic radius increasing, as a result electron gain enthalpy has to decrease. Electron gain enthalpy has to decrease. But see, except in 1A group, in the remaining groups of S and P block, except in 1A group, in the remaining groups of S and P block, electron affinity of first element is less than that of second element. In 7th A group, electron affinity of fluorine less than that of chlorine. In 6th A group, electron affinity of oxygen less than that of sulfur. Why? What is the reason? See, fluorine is smaller in size than the chlorine. But in both the cases, in the valency shell, 7 electrons only there. So in case of fluorine, 7 electrons in this much small volume. In case of chlorine, 7 electrons in this much large volume. So that's why in the valency shell of the fluorine, electrons density more. That's why when we are going to add electron, this electron experiences the attraction from the nucleus. At the same time, this electron will experience the repulsions from the already existed electrons in the valence shell. Now in fluorine, in the first element of the group, because of smaller size electron density more na, so already congested. So this incoming electron this incoming electron experience the greater repulsion from the valence electrons of fluorine. Here also, in case of chlorine also repulsions are there. But in case of fluorine, because of greater electrons density in the valence shell, such repulsions are little bit more. Now to overcome those repulsions, now some of the energy which is going to be released, some extra consumed. So overall, finally, when an electron is added, energy released is less for fluorine than that of chlorine. Now, see, for this fluorine, just less than that of chlorine only, but more than that of bromine and iodine. In case of oxygen, it is less than that of all the elements. So now, in between the fluorine and chlorine, electron gain enthalpy highest for chlorine. In between the sulfur and selenium, electron gain enthalpy more for sulfur. Here you may get another doubt. Sir, from sulfur to selenium also size increased. Sulfur is smaller in size than selenium. So in case of sulfur, in between incoming electron and valence electrons of sulfur, repulsions little bit more. But and compared with that repulsions, here for in the selenium, size increase in nucleus attraction decrease only more. So finally electron gain enthalpy decreased. That exception observed for first two elements of the group. Now see, in the 1A group no exception. From lithium, from hydrogen to lithium decreased, lithium to sodium also. Why there is no exception? See, in the valence shell only one electron only. So only one electron. So from in between the already existed electron and incoming electron, repulsion difference is not so high for hydrogen, lithium, sodium. So that's why that factor not affected here. So down the group size increased. So without any exception, electron affinity decreased. So in between the lithium and sodium, higher for lithium only. Now, what is our question? From each pair, electron gain enthalpy highest for. So, chlorine, next to sulfur, next to lithium. So, correct answer is the second option. Now, come to the next question. This question was given on 9th January forenoon. Now, the question is the acidic, basic and amphoteric oxides respectively are first acidic, next basic and then amphoteric oxide. Here in these options, some second, third period elements and fourth period elements oxides given. We know that metal oxides are basic. Of course, some metal oxides amphoteric also. In generally, metal oxides are basic. Non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. In the periods from left to right side, non-metallic nature increasing, metallic nature decreasing. Non-metallic nature increasing, so acidic strength of the oxides increases. Acidic strength of the oxides increases. Basic strength decreases. Basic strength decreases. Now in the second period, this is basic Li2O. Next, this one amphoteric. Next, remaining are all acidic. So in the second period, amphoteric oxide is beryllium oxide. In the third period, these two are basic. These two are basic. It is strongly basic. It is weakly basic. It is amphoteric. Next, these are all acidic. These two are weakly acidic. These two are strongly acidic. Next, potassium and calcium oxide. These two are both are basic oxides only. So, amphoteric oxides, beryllium oxide and aluminum oxide. Now, what they want? First acidic, After that, basic and amphoteric. So this condition will be satisfied by this one. N2O3 acidic oxide, Li2O basic oxide, Al2O3 amphoteric oxide. So answer is first option. So these are the solutions for the periodic table questions. Okay, students. If you observe this one, in the final mains, definitely one question they are giving from the periodic table. So all of you give importance for periodic table during your revision for the next spell. Okay, students, if you like my video, subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon to get all my notifications. Bye, students. We will meet again with another new concept.